All right, and we are live again with the One Big Fire podcast, and I am with two of my dearest friends right here in the land, Jackie and Brian Salem. This is going to be an amazing podcast. You're going to learn so much about their journey, not just why they decided to move their talents over to EXP, but more importantly, what's got them staying. Buckle up. Here we go.
Here's the big question.
How are agents like us,
who didn't get an opportunity to invest in a franchise early,
who are spending time and money to sell homes,
building someone else's saleable asset?
How do we grow a business but still build wealth?
Have an exit strategy,
and get a piece of the pie that's not dependent
on us working more hours and every weekend?
That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer.
My name is Jay Kinder.
My name is Al Stasek.
And I'm Michael Reese. We are your hosts, and welcome to the One Big Fire podcast.
All right, here we are. What's up, Salem team?
Hey!
What's up?
Hey, thank you so much for coming aboard. Man, it's been such a journey. Like, Brian, you and I met, 15, maybe? Was it at least 10 to 15 years ago? And we immediately, upon meeting, started collaborating, inviting each other out to lunch, sharing ideas. And it's just kind of so cool how it's all comes full circle, and we're still doing the same thing. We need to really actually just drink more beer together. That's really what we need to do. But
yeah, I agree.
I'll take the collaboration. Hi, Jackie.
Hi.
Awesome. So we are going to have some time to do that beer drinking because I bought a boat. I don't know if you saw the boat.
Oh, I love it.
Right around the corner from y'all. And we're going to need to do some rafting and tying off, and maybe show me where the parts that I should not drive the boat in Lake Erie.
Yes,
well, you're at the park by Cedar Point, so you got the spot and the view right there. So
yeah, so much fun. So we're gonna dive right into a few things, and I put some of the notes about what people can expect from this interview with you guys. I mean, you've obviously been a powerhouse team for years. You're a household name in Avon Lake, Westlake, the entire west side of Cleveland. Just well respected in every aspect of our business. And you didn't really have to make a move about, 16 months ago, something like that.
Yeah.
But you did. So what I'd like to do is dip in and if you could give some perspective, and let's just dig right into it. Initially, when you didn't know what you didn't know, what were the reasons you thought you were coming to this company for? And then in contrast, let's move into what you're most excited about now that might be different than what you thought before coming in.
Well, let me answer the first part, and then I'll have Jackie kind of take over. I think just to kind of get to it, I think the growth, the expansion, the opportunity, and just change. I mean, those were probably the high level things that we were just looking for and wanting to kind of expand beyond just our team and our business, but just our mindset, our growth mindset, in addition to just wanting to change. We just wanted something different. We wanted something to be a part of that was a lot more forward thinking. I think that had the agents more like they had their agents number one, and they built a company around that, and they showed it and proved it. And that was sort of the things kind of looking back, when we were talking with you a year or two prior to joining, that you really kind of opened our eyes to all of that.
Awesome. Any regrets?
No, I mean, I think,
maybe joining sooner.
Yeah.
I was leading into it.
Time, right? So maybe about a year or 6 months earlier.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that. I felt we handled it great with our previous broker. I mean, I think I probably could have handled a little bit differently with the agents on the team, and knowing that this was our team, and making some of those decisions, the hard decisions sooner. I kind of regret not making some of the hard decisions, letting those prolong into taking up too much time, to kind of get to the final decision there.
Well, we talked before we came on the broadcast backstage, if you will, and that's the one question we did not talk about, because I honestly, every time I ask the question, any regrets, and it's the same answer. Jackie nailed it. Man, we should have came. And I remember us sitting outside in the East Bank of the Flats after a few too many adult beverages, and the three of us are sitting there. It was after Rock and Restock.
Yeah.
And you remember that. And,
Yeah.
And here's the thing I've learned is that it's not about when I'm ready or when EXP is ready for you. It's when you're ready for us. Right. And I think you guys kind of figured that out. It needed to be the right time for you. And so thank God it did become the right time. And we're so excited and proud to have you as partners. So Jackie, let's go into the second half of that question.
Yeah.
Brian touched on the reasons why you really thought that this was going to be a great move for your career, not just for you, because let's face it, you guys would be successful anywhere you went. Jackie, you ran a successful sales team for new construction. Brian, you've ran, and the resale as a realtor for years at the top of your game. No matter where you're hanging your license, you guys are going to be successful. The other half of this was for the agents. So Jackie, give us a little bit of perspective of after you've been with the company now, what did you discover after month 6, month 12, and you really started to see this company in a shape that you didn't see it before? What little nuances did you notice?
Well, a little bit about our timeline is when we came over in February of 2020, we were here about a month. So just getting used to everything. And then COVID hit and we were like, oh my God, what are we going to do? But thank God we were with the EXP because we had the technology. I know we talk about that a lot, but I don't think people really understand what that is or what that means. The technology from, the transaction coordinator, the SkySlope, where we could scan things in from home, we could figure that out. It wasn't overcomplicated and there weren't so many layers to where it was like, how are we going to dissect this and figure it out? It's like, no, we just do it the way we normally do it and process it. The other thing is just basically having Verbella and having the EXP world, being able to collaborate with other agents while other offices were shut down. We kept going. So we didn't have to ask for that. We didn't have to ask for it to be built. It was already there. And thank God it was, because we had a tremendous year doing that. I mean, we had some challenges with the team and things like that, but we were able to onboard new agents and get right up to speed with that technology. Easy peasy. I mean, we had broker meetings, everything. So it was really great. I don't know if you want to add anything to that on your end.
No, I mean, I think just where they're at with technology is so far ahead any other broker, and they continue to invest money in that, for the agents. And it's just super streamlined. It's super streamlined. Things happen a lot faster, with this company than any other, brokers I've been in, with in the past. And it just makes running a business, when you can run it more efficiently, and it obviously then it goes straight to the bottom line of the profitability. I know we kind of talked backstage about like the financial alignment and stuff like that, but just the technology and how streamlined they've made it and how easy they make it for the agents. It's like, bar none.
And just simple things like getting questions answered from the broker. Like, what are we supposed to do? What does this mean? I mean, I'll hear back from our broker within an hour or less, so it is just so streamlined, so easy to do. And again, they're not developing it. We already have it and it actually works. So I think that is the number one thing for me with that.
So technology, I mean, that's one. Before we move on to the next point, I want to confess and say that was not the reason why I joined the company, the tech. But, and we'll get to that, but it doesn't matter why I joined. But at the end of the day, it's an interesting until a pandemic happens where nobody can go into the office. Offices are shut down. People are forced to work from home, where it used to just be an option. I'll come to the office or maybe I'll work from home. And now all of a sudden, not only did we continue growing in transaction count and agent count, we opened 6 new countries without leaving the American soil because of our cloud-based model. I'm going to be honest. I didn't grasp the, look, Glenn he founded this company in 2009, which was the same year the iPhone came out. When people can wrap their mind around how far forward this guy thinks, I mean, he's just a genius. And really, bet on the jockey, not the horse. Let's get back to the horse in a second. Glenn, you're amazing. If you're listening, I mean, unbelievable. So technology is one thing. Jackie, what would you say the second thing that you didn't know but found out after being with the company 6-12 months, and you're like, wow, this is amazing?
So coming from the corporate world, there's a lot of hot topics with equality and diversity and things like that. And, a lot of times companies do it like, yay, woo, do a post and yay, it's done. For me, I've really seen EXP invest in diversity and invest in women, especially. And that's super important to me because obviously I've worked very hard my whole career, and, to see that, I mean, our broker's a woman, going on to, the shareholder summit, and investing in women to come and to speak that have been successful, like Jamie Kern-Lima, and Brooke Baldwin was the one interviewing her, and just understanding their stories and how they got there. Because, we have children, we have a few more mountains to climb on that respect. So just seeing successful women in this company and shine and what they do every single day with their families, with everything like that. People like Gogo Bethke, Tina Call, Nikki Gregory Cook, Beth Silverman, Holly Kitchens. These are powerhouse women that I've learned from, but I feel like they're like me. They have families, they have kids, busy. It's just really exciting to see that. It's really exciting to see a company embrace diversity when they don't have to. We celebrated Black History Month. We celebrated Pride, and there were trainings on it too. So it's not something that was forced or just was like a post like, woohoo, happy Pride Month, guys. It was an actual month of celebrating Pride and trainings. And it just makes my heart happy because it is an inclusive company. I feel like, sometimes we see on the surface, not many women are represented. And was honestly, my thought when we first joined, but coming into it, man, these women in this company, kudos. It is, I've learned so much about mindset, about not making excuses, about getting up, investing in myself alone, and valuing myself just by listening to these women. And then also too, like they're teaching Instagram how to be successful on social media platforms. So besides the everyday, I've learned such a broad range from the women in this company. And I think that's one thing that I didn't really see or hear about. And, let's face it, the real estate industry is dominated by women. And I think EXP Realty really highlights that. And you can see that in their shareholder summits and who they bring on as their support. I don't think we have a man working in our Ohio office. It's all these high powered ladies. And I
was
going
to say something, and it was like, I was like, is this going to sound sexist? But I'm going to go ahead and say it. I don't think a man could really do that job as good as those two ladies do. They couldn't. I mean, it's just, they just are better. And I've seen it. I've witnessed it firsthand.
They're great.
No offense to our past male brokers. Y'all are really great people, but they're just killing it. And they're great. And
they're great leaders.
They're human beings. I will say this. Let's not leave out one of my favorite lady leaders at EXP, and that's Stacy Onan. And Stacy Onan has probably one of the toughest jobs because she's in charge of like the broker end of things. Dave Kennard, he's great. One of my best buds and everything. He's in charge of the growth. That's fun. Stacy has to man the operations and the broker ops.
Yeah.
And that's oftentimes, if you know anything about the real estate business, that's usually the least fun piece of what we do. And so hats off to her. And to your point, at every level, from C-level executives with Stacy, to every single level, and it's not top down. I almost did one of those. It's different levels, different positions, all the way to the brokers, to top real estate agents, to top attractors, and team leads. So thanks for pointing that out, because I'm excited about. I love seeing the lady leaders. They plan trips together. And it's not just like in a locality. They're getting together from all over the country and the world.
Yes. And I think I've met more people throughout the country, and not that I personally know them, or you know what I mean, but I've been connected through social media, obviously through EXP World and the trainings that they do and things like that. I just really feel more of a collaborative spirit and people raising each other up. Not only on, like I said, the diversity in women, but just all around. It's not this competitive thing. It's more of a collaboration, like, what can we help you with? Or let's talk about this. It's just a really fun atmosphere and it's exciting.
So you guys, we were both at two very, very good companies. But they were different companies. I was with Remax. You guys were with KW. Two really amazing companies with two really amazing leaders. I loved Remax. I didn't like it. I almost bought my own franchise at one point, and the math just didn't seem to work out. But we parted, in a good way and everything. But I have to ask you guys, because for me, I honestly questioned, was I going to actually like the culture at EXP? This is prior to me joining. I'm like, how could they form good culture with no office? This was going through my mind. I joined because I thought revenue share was a great opportunity for growth and the stock was great for the agents. Those are the reasons. It wasn't because of the cloud or anything. I always had my own office like you guys. But have you ever seen a group of such happy people that it's not drinking the Kool-Aid happy? It's more like, oh my gosh, like you were saying, not competitive, but collaborative. Everyone picking each other up. Mm-hmm. Everyone genuinely happy to be at the company. Yeah. And for good reason. Have you ever experienced that at your previous companies?
Here's the thing, you hit upon kind of the competitiveness versus the collaboration sort of piece of it. And the culture of EXP just gets you in the mindset to want to not only just enjoy what you do for a living and do your best for your clients, but to kind of enjoy life and work together towards like a common goal.
Yeah.
The competitiveness of previous, brokers or just certain brokers out there, it's all about them and what are they going to make and how can they make more, and then it kind of trickles down, affecting obviously the, on the agent level. So way different mind. And it really is more just of the mindset, and that's the culture. Yeah. That's what they teach. It's what they preach. It's what they live. And, you did not see that all that often.
I didn't.
I think the difference is just, one, the leaders and sort of the change of mindset that they've gone through probably over the last, few years, but it's the different models. It's just two different models. And I don't want to say it's the franchise versus kind of the public company, but it probably is, and it's about them making the most money from the franchisor perspective instead of the agents making more, money. And that changes a lot of people's attitudes and mindset just in general.
It does. And I mean, Jackie hit on the two things, which I thought were great. You went with the technology piece that you really didn't, and then when you got to witness the diversity and the culture, backing, ladies, you had said, what was the other, Pride Week and all that. Yes. Mm-hmm. Minorities. It was great. But the third thing, Brian, that, you hit on before we went on to the broadcast, I'd love for you to unpack a little bit, because that was something that I didn't realize until about 9 months into the company. We were actually in Jackson Hole, Wyoming at a Kinder East mastermind. And we were, in the room, and Jay and I were actually presenting about EXP. And the two words that came out of his mouth, I never heard him say in any other of our presentations before. And it was financial alignment. Everyone talks about revenue share. Everybody talks about stock, and, some people care about that stuff, but most don't. But what you nailed was the financial alignment piece. When was it when that kind of came full circle, when you actually saw it, experienced it? Tell us a little bit about that.
So, I mean, I think there's agents that kind of look at just sort of the commission check, and that's just what they work for. And that is, obviously not who we are and what we represent. And I think most of the top agents, aren't either. It took a first few months because, you had to kind of ground me a little bit at first, where, again, it's you could sort of see, but I don't think I really sort of grasped it until probably 3 months, 4 months into it, where it's the whole thing. It's not just, it's about the agents and sort of their commission splits, but it's about, when you run the team and the bottom line profitability. And, it's all of the pillars of the different opportunities that push that, alignment when it comes to sort of the financial. So again, it's not just one piece of it. It's sort of all of it. And at first, I think I was just more, focus on the team and not really paying too much attention, to that. But man, such importance that I just, that's the one thing I'm like, wow, I just didn't realize the magnitude in the impact that, EXP provides to agents when it comes to the whole sort of financial picture in your future.
Yeah.
No brokers talk about that.
Right. And we can go on. I mean, the end game that isn't there and doesn't exist for agents anywhere else. I want to add one more piece before we wrap up to what you just said, Brian, with the financial alignment. And this is a word that was brought up to me by another one of our honey badgers, Daniel Beer out of San Diego. And he summed it up with one word, and it was access. Like, where else do you have access to some of these top brokers and agents to where, and you guys see it, I'm sure, every day in Honey Badger Nation. You got people like Chuck Fazio built a brokerage to 860 agents. That guy will drop at the drop of a hat, hop on a call, help anybody out with anything. And I'm going to throw myself under the bus a little bit. When I was at Remax, I was the number one guy in our company, and I it was all about me. And the reason it was about me is because no one else really had my back. It was me, myself, and I. If no one was out there like, hey, Al, do you need help with this? Do you need help with that? There was zero collaboration because it was competitive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's the exact opposite. We actually have access to people who are doing maybe hundreds of deals more than we are per year and are willing to share everything. And I've never seen anything like it. And I'm excited. I'm excited to be partners with you guys. Anything that you guys want to add to kind of wrap this up?
I don't think that that's talked about enough. I mean, I think whoever's sort of listening to this, watching this, passing that out, like, that's real. Like, it is real, because you could kind of hear that, from before. Because I remember when I made the decision, then the phone calls come, right? Mm-hmm. Then the people you thought had your back, that's when they're calling, when you've already decided to make a move. And that is not, what has been obviously our experience here. So it's one thing just to say it, but to actually do it and be part of that, like, that piece is real. And I don't think that's talked about enough, that's out there. And what you just said, that access and that collaboration, that it's the alignment of the whole thing. Yeah. And that's what works when it's in one's mind, that you just want to do better and be better. That when you're surrounded by people like that, that's why the alignment in it all works.
And it is required too from us, and it's expected. When you're an icon agent, you need to participate. You need to do these things. So it's not something it's just handed to you. You earn it by helping others. And that's what I really like too, is it's, you have to speak, you have to participate. Because it's easy to be a real estate agent and not be a part of things. You can stay at home. You don't have to be involved. You can just do it. But I love the fact that it kind of requires you to get a little bit of uncomfortableness and go in and talk in front of a group and do those different types of things to actually feel a part of it and feel like an icon. It's not just getting there, but it's actually, you are one. So let's celebrate you. Let's do these things because you're doing amazing. So we want to hear what you're doing.
Love it.
And I think
I don't want to wrap up without talking about the math, because earlier, Brian, you had mentioned you guys got your Icon Agent Award last year. Right?
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. And let's just cut the bull and talk some straight math. Okay. So if you're thinking, oh, well, I'm not sure that you could be an independent broker. I mean, I'm netting more money as a team leader at EXP than I ever did as an independent broker, paying nobody anything, no franchise fees. So can you share, and you don't need to share exact numbers, but I mean, we all know that you pay EXP a $16,000 cap, then you go to 100% minus transaction fees. Yep. And you got your Icon Agent Award, which means you got the $16,000 back in the form of company stock.
Yep.
You share, I don't know how many shares that was at the time, or, let's say how many shares.
So I don't recall exactly how many shares, but getting the 16,000, which I got last August. So we came in February, So you also get the stock reward for capping.
Right.
But if we're talking about the 16,000, because it's obviously kind of divided out on the back end, that today is worth 38,000. That's 16,000. The 2,000 you get for each shareholder, the shareholder summit, which was just this past May, and then the XPCon, which was last November, you get 2,000 each for those. Are both, well, the one from last November is worth well over like $5,000.
Yeah.
And the one in May, I haven't really looked at, but I'm sure it's probably at least $3,000. So that right there is probably $40,000.
Yeah, my math was closer to 50, but who's counting? So
I do.
Well, what we talked about, even the opportunities like with the agents that I still don't think talked about as much, or is there opportunity to buy into company stock, at a discount? And obviously, it is the market, but what I mentioned, well into six figures our first year in company stock, just for doing what we do and trying to be great at it.
Yeah. Love it. What a great opportunity. And I love it that, not everyone, a lot of people do talk about the revenue share. And the truth of it is most people don't recruit agents. They sell lots of houses because that's what this is all about. And if you come here to want to sell lots of houses, not only can we help you, but you're going to earn your own shares of ownership and increase the equity that you own in the company that you're working for. Start asking yourself, the company that you work for right now, if your company killed it, does that benefit you in any way? And when I mean benefit, does it benefit your bank account? Yeah. Ask yourself that question. Answer it honestly. Thank you, Salems. Love you, Jackie, Brian. Thanks for coming aboard.
Thank you.
And talk about access. If you want access to Brian and Jackie, I know they can find you on Facebook. They can message you directly. If you have questions on anything with EXP, you can message either of them. They're going to be real responsive. How else can they reach you?
Google the Salem team, but everywhere on social media at the Salem team is really the best way just to reach out, respond right away. And one last thing I want to say, that before, your math actually was correct. I was doing it real quick in my head. It was like 46.5 or something like that. So you were closer to the 50. But I think we're
real estate agents. We're not mathematicians.
Yeah, I was rounding, but I should have rounded more up than down. But I think just a standard of excellence that not only EXP, if you go look up sort of, and again, sort of their values and aligning with those, their standard in how high that is of what they expect, really aligns with us. And I think just wanting our industry to be better, agents to be better, to have better lives, it's all there, and it's all there for you. So, but yeah, reach us at the Salem team is probably the best, way to get a hold of us.
I appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
You guys have a good one. And as we say, that one big fire, we'll see you at the top or from the top. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.